Introducing Nose to Tail, a podcast where we explore the world of aviation lifecycle solutions, insights, and more. Presented by Jet Midwest.
Welcome back to the Nose to Tail podcast. I'm Patrick Kraus with Jet Midwest. I'm with Jorge Gonzalez. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. Now you're up from Miami. You're wearing a jacket today in Kansas City because it's 50-something degrees. Yeah, what does your shirt say here?
Right here.
Make aviation great again.
Yeah.
I like that.
I make it again.
I think we can, absolutely. I think you'll probably be selling some of those shirts later today.
Yeah, right.
Jorge, maybe talk to us a little bit about your career and how it got started and kind of how we evolved to where we are right now.
Crazy one. Well, actually, back in 1997, I started the aviation, coincident. I went to somebody from the family that had their own business, have a 145, own engines, and I started there. I mentioned early today about the yellow tags.
Right.
You remember yellow tags, and they say, I need someone here that can, type those yellow tags because, that's how we do it before 8130 and all that we have right now. So that's how I started in 1997. And then I was more into the business itself, the industry. I love it. And there was a moment I say, hey, you know what? Can I go to a production? So I started on a production side and I was helping to, make it better. How can we improve our production, the same repair station. Later on, say, hey, sales, can I do sales? So I was trying to do sales there. Later on, after 3 years, I ended on a broker. So I was working for 9 years on a small brokerage side, and I learned everything from the shipping to all the way down to sales and make it happen and grow the business along with. So that's when back in 2006, I say, you know what, this is silly for me. I want to do my own thing. Along with a friend, we started a company called AvFlex. It was aviation flexible. We gotta say, hey, let's go to Arizona, Mojave, try to get some parts and try to sell it. Mostly in South America because, we speak Spanish. It was easy for us. Down there, they don't have the same connection that we have here. You got access to everything. That's when we started. And it was good. It passed 2-3 years. And every time that we visit those clients, say, hey, who can repair my boats? So we say, yes, we can do that. So we started on the repair management type of thing. And we started all DC-9s, all baby 737s. They send it from South America to Miami. It's a port of entry. Everybody from South America goes there. So it was easy for us. It was easy access for them. So we started sending those units to a repair station. Guess what? The parts, when they repaired, they take longer than we was promised to the clients. And it was a very difficult to do business like that. And every time that we go to a client, said, that part of the TAT is out of our hands. So how can we make a solution to this? Open an emerald, So we opened Global back in 2010, 11, we started. And it was initially as a boutique kind of shop. We only do it for us. We do it for our own clients. And we start growing like that. And later on, 2014, the thing was growing and growing. And we brought aboard Roger, that you just have a podcast with him. That was a great success because, he was more into sales on the emerald side. We were more like brokers. So that's how I entered doing all this, enter on the quality side. Because every time that I look for someone, I said, no, I don't have time for that. I cannot help you. So you know what? Let me get the FAA 145, part 65, part 43, and I start reading all that. And that's how we entered, having our certificate. It took us a year, but, it was worth it.
I too started in a similar time frame and was really in that parts world. Now I started on the expendable side at Jet Midwest, whereas you were maybe working on the brokerage side of the house, buying and selling rotables, and creating relationships, right? That's really what all of aviation's about, right? With our clients is, I'm going to create a relationship. I can help support you. You're struggling to find solutions and I can go and create them because you're in a different marketplace than they were if they're in Central or South America.
Sure.
I love the idea that you jumped straight into saying, yeah, I can say yes to, oh, you need to repair that? Yeah, I can help you. And, oh, your TA team stinks with these other guys? I'll tell you what, I can help you there too. I'll just go start my own thing and get it rolling because that's brave, right? You have to take some risks and you got to be brave when you're an entrepreneur. And, that's right. Jet Midwest, challenge accepted, right?
Yes.
It's hugely important to us to be able to do that for all of our clients. And it certainly is a vendor that you are for us. We appreciate that, right? You guys are coming up with solutions and working through some of those things that are oftentimes hard for our clients. That really is the fabric of what our industry is about. Now, we talked a little bit about quality. Your official title is a accountable manager. Probably like every owner, you've done every job in the building, and that's the title they gave you because no one else wanted it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Every time someone complains to me, I always ask them if they want my chair, and they typically say, no, I don't want to do that job. So you've probably been in the same spot. Now, from a accountable manager role, I've been lucky enough to have several in my career in our repair stations, and they fill a really hugely important role. And maybe talk a little bit about that accountable manager role as you see it within your organization.
Well, actually, the FAA designed accountable manager as a liaison between the FAA and the job itself, the MRO. So everything that happened there, you are responsible for that. That's very important. And especially on the quality side, which is the biggest aspect of the FAA, check with all regulatory process that they have and all that. So to be an accountable manager, you had to be in top of your, shop, your quality personnel, your technical people that you have. Even the sales, you had to talk to them.
Underneath you, I assume you probably have a director of quality in your organization.
Yes, of course.
So
Very good one.
yeah, so I've been, again, very lucky to have great relationships between my accountable managers and their director of qualities, and one person oversight of the whole organization, and the other really driving that quality is really it's safety management for the aircraft component or for the aircraft, depending on the role, right? That's how we keep airplanes in the air and make sure that travel is safe for everybody, and that's primary. We have 145 repair station certificates, but you guys have gone beyond that. I think you have AS9100.
Yes, ISO 900-901, AS9010 Charlie, I believe it is. The one. This AS9010. So the thing is that ISO 9001 is, like other quality standard certificate that you can get. It help you a lot to complement the FAA already process that you have with all the quality process that you had that you present to the FAA. The ISO is a little bit beyond, like go further. And traceability is self-evaluations that you have, self-audits, audits to your vendors. All that it go beyond, what the FAA regulated. So to have that is a plus on the system. And you can cut clones faster than waiting for an FAA inspector, PMI that they're going to come, regularly, like every 3-4 months. Doing that kind of system, it helps. It helps with your customer, you guys. That's part of the integration between the FAA and this kind of standard quality ISO 9001. We started implementing this like almost 8 months ago, and it's been very good. You never end on quality. You always have up to a challenge, and every time that you grow, you're going to have more things to overcome. But I'm telling you, it's very good. I recommend for any shop, to have that kind of system. And like I say, I talked to you this morning, and the conversation was that the aviation is getting sophisticated a little bit more every year. And even though we're like a high-end kind of industry, we're not that on technologies.
Yeah, for sure. So just to catch everybody up, as we were having a dialogue previously, we had talked about 20 years ago when we were issuing, there weren't even 8130s, we were issuing yellow serviceable tags. It had similar information on it, but it was less formalized, and that
It wasn't
grew.
tracked.
It wasn't tracked, and traceability really was not what it is today.
Why do you
Right?
need it?
No, you just shipped a part. I remember when I very first started, we had nothing but hardware, nuts, bolts, with $50 at a time bag of MS bolts, and
You don't need
you literally it was in an OEM bag. I just threw it into a FedEx envelope with a pack slip, and off it went. And today, obviously, there's 35 pieces of paper with those bolts, which means they're worth $300 instead of $50 because they've got to be touched. But those quality systems are there for a reason, right? And a lot of changes in that market, suspected unapproved parts and those type of things,
Yes.
that training. Now, from a quality person standpoint, there's things like Six Sigma and those things.
Yes.
Talk to me about, as an individual maybe who's working for another company out there, who's maybe looking to change their career and maybe go down a quality path, or what types of things would you maybe recommend that they do for training, or maybe a path they could pursue in their career to join a quality department or really grow in that part of the field?
Well, and quality training is all about. That's the main thing. And you had to keep up with trainings, and all your technicians had to recurring trainings. That kind of, suspect and approved parts. You had to be, like recurring every 6, 8 months. You had to do that. It's a requirement of the FAA. I think it's in a year. For someone that wants to be a quality, we don't have that kind of person right now because everybody wants to be on the technology, computer, that want to be a YouTuber, all that. There's a high demand in that. We need people to be, precisely see what happened, what was a mistake, or reverse that and bring procedures in order to overcome that. You talk about Six Sigma. Six Sigma is another system that was developed, I believe, from Motorola. They did that, and then Toyota took that, and it's good to have it. It's easy. You go to any online service that they have, you do 3 or 4 belts, they call it, white, green, yellow, to a black, and you learn how, from the mistake, you can, save a lot of things. Common error, I call it dumb error sometimes. It happens. The problem with the Six Sigma is that you had to implement it in the whole system. You cannot be only one person in the company had that, because you had to have like few people, like people on shipment and on the shipping receiving, people on the office, because you had to have like some kind of brainstorm.
Right.
To figure it out how one person cannot fix it.
Yeah, certainly a lot of input from a lot of people. I've had some folks that work for me with fairly in-depth Six Sigma backgrounds, especially former airline employees. And,
you need few people.
Yeah, I would definitely say from a cultural standpoint, I think we do a great job at Jet Midwest. We actually have an internal company mechanism for people to talk about the challenges they're having in their departments. And then our leadership team gets together and says, okay, who can help solve this problem? We had a bit of a technology problem getting pictures of components into the system in a timely manner. It was just taking too long. And so we literally just got a small committee of people who understood the problem. They all got together and worked to solve that. They came up with a very practical solution. So we don't necessarily qualified Six Sigma, but I think maybe ultimately in the end, we were doing the job that Six Sigma probably would have called out for at least part of it.
To go there to get to, you accept that that you want to go to that point, and you create that. Is with time is, what is going to make you success on this. You never keep up.
In terms of career development, if we think about it in an individual, whether it's ourselves or the people we're mentoring or bringing through the system in our companies, I want people to be driven to improve themselves.
Yes.
I spend a lot of energy listening and learning from other people. I'm not a reader, so I don't really read. I consume my content, much like this. I'm listening to podcasts, and someone will send me something. Oh, that's great. And I'll go spend an hour listening to it in the car. And, to get myself to be a better boss. No matter what I'm doing, I just want to be better at it. And I hope my employees are the same. Most of them are. I think we have a very good culture of people wanting to grow. And being in an MRO, and you also still have the parts company, so you have both businesses. You have the ability to give opportunities, right, for people to potentially go from one company to the other.
That's what we do. We have some, as a matter of fact, right now we have like 4 people into a system, like develop, white belt and then yellow belt, in order to then one day they're going to pass to a quality assistant on the MRO, and that's how they grow. But the most important for a person on quality or anything, is curiosity.
Yeah.
The curiosity, what you bring you, to the point is that I want to know why this happened. I want to know what's going on with this. And curiosity is what make you driven to success.
That curiosity is a huge piece, right? So if you can identify that a unit is cracked when it's on the inspection table, understanding why it was cracked, that's the curiosity, right? That's that next layer.
Yeah, what happens, what happened on this, and then you dig it on documents and whatever resource that you have. So yeah, this is what happened and that's how you go to the root. And that's what, on quality, you have, root cause, correcting actions against that, how you can figure it out. That's pretty much, you're like a detective every time they happen.
Yeah.
We'll continue this discussion on the next episode of Nose to Tail, a podcast presented by Jet Midwest. Don't forget to please like and subscribe to our channel.